What's going on, you guys? RJ with RJ's Trades. We back with another free Sunday watch list, all right? I got a few plays for you guys that I think are going to be really, really good. So I can't wait to show you guys. But before we begin, all I ask you to do is leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I believe we're on like 14 away, 13 away, something like that. I am having 4 free classes, right? So a class about day trading, swing trading, the break and retest strategy, and also chart patterns, okay? So make sure you guys just go ahead and get to 1,000. It's insane. Appreciate you guys for all the support. Also links below. You can follow me on Instagram, as well as join the free Discord. All right. So getting straight into it here. Not gonna hold you guys very long today at all, man. I'm gonna be watching some football today. Here with Spy. So we can see that Spy really, it's just been going back and forth, right? So you haven't had a bunch of solid direction here lately. Kind of just been a take your money and go type of market. But one thing to note here is that we are forming like some bearish divergence, right? So bearish divergence is when the stock price is making higher highs, but the RSI is making higher lows. So you can see this quite a bit here, actually. Look at that right there. And if you started from the same point, boom, right? So RSI lower, 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 but the stock price higher, 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 right? So usually it means that it could have a drop. Now it doesn't mean it's going to, tank. It doesn't mean that, but a drop or some consolidation could definitely possibly happen. Especially if you start using your trend lines, and if it was to break this, I would say if we can, we're kind of quite a bit away, but definitely under 634, the market has a chance to have some downside. So, just something to be aware of, but it is what it is, right? So let's just kind of go through our stocks here and see what we got. We banked on AMD on Thursday and Friday, right? So I can show you guys this both days here real quick. And this is why you guys, we need to get to 1,000 so I can show you guys exactly how to do this, all right? This is an example of a day trade that we took. Okay, so this is a bear flag pattern, all right? So that happens when a stock has a sharp move down, and basically you're looking to buy puts on the pullback up to take it lower, all right? So we got in puts around here, okay? And you see what happened to it, AMD tank. So, I'll be posting some gains as well, man, but the chat really went crazy off of this play on Friday. And then we look at Thursday, we banked on it again. Okay, so we banked on it Thursday, but this time it was a triangle pattern, right? Triangle pattern right here, break down straight to the level. I told everybody to get out right here, which is perfect because this was the support, right? So yeah, let's get to 1,000 so I can show you guys how to do this, man. All right, let's go ahead and get that going. Let's see what we got here. Nvidia might actually have a little downside for Nvidia. We'll see. It could also, I can possibly even see it bouncing here, but I probably wouldn't touch Nvidia right here, to be honest. Tesla is still on watch. Tesla just has to clear 356, right? So at this point, you just need it to clear all the pieces. This is a pretty good resistance right here. Look at right here, right here, right here, right here, and we rejected here the other day. So yeah, 356, that clears on Tesla. Look like we should be good to go to 367. So that's a play that I'm watching heavy. So let me go ahead and, that's going to be on my watch list for a day trade. Tesla above 356. That's one that I like this week. All right. Rocket Lab didn't do anything. SMCI, I'm still salty about that one, man. But SMCI is actually kind of setting up possibly for a downside move at this point. If you look here on the 4-hour, right here on the 4-hour, and this is not gonna be on my main watch list, but I just kind of see the setup possibly happening, right? So this kind of looks like a bear flag, right? So not only do the chart patterns form on 5-minute charts, 1-minute charts, they also form on 4-hour charts, right? So usually the bigger the time frame that you see a chart pattern on, the bigger the move. Okay, just keep that in mind. It's gonna be a little preview. Okay, so possible bear flag right here. If this thing was to break down, notice that this is also a key support. So notice I put definitely stop below whenever I had my call trade that I lost on SMCI. So now it's bear flagging right under the level. So if this thing is to fall, this could have a pretty nice drop, right? So that would kind of just be a little side watch for me. FI, I had stopped out of this last week. Just wasn't doing anything, man. Kind of stagnant now. I know now that I'm out of it, it's probably gonna have a day where it just pops $10 and goes stupid. But it is what it is. I always gotta stick to your risk management. PLTR hasn't been going anywhere lately. It's kind of in no man's land, so I wouldn't touch PLTR. BMNR, same thing. CCL, kind of just consolidating at that 2021 resistance at the moment, so that still looks pretty good. Shopify, I didn't even see that. I don't love it. Shopify kind of popped a little bit, but I don't love the setup. UNH looks good. Hopefully you just have shares with that. So UNH looks okay. Chipotle I'm waiting on, right? So I'm waiting on Chipotle. Notice we've been patient. I said don't chase it down here. Don't chase it. I think we might get a very nice bounce. Let me zoom out and show you guys what I'm looking at right here. So if you zoom out, besides this COVID drop right here, so COVID, everything just got killed. But besides this little spot right here, this has been a very nice bounce line for CMG since 2018. So I'm confident that if we get down here around this 39, that could be the bottom. Very possible. But if it comes to 35, I think that's where you really want to start to get in heavy, especially with shares. So I'm still watching CMG, not ready yet on it. CNC, you got Hood. Hood should be on your watch list heavy. Hood should be one of the top stocks on your watch list this week, right? So Hood actually got included in the S&P 500, okay? So they're going to be in the S&P, in the upcoming weeks and months. They're going to be added there. So it kind of just looks like a huge bull flag to me a little bit. It ain't the prettiest thing ever, but I'm telling you, if it has one day where it pops, the chart will be very, very clear. Okay? So they had a little pop on Friday. I'm going to be watching this heavy on Monday, right? So Hood is my number one stock to watch for this week for a day trade. Watch out for Hood. This thing could possibly go. You see this little trend line here that it broke on Friday after hours. So we'll see. Hood is definitely my favorite stock to watch this week. So we got Hood and we got Tesla. All right. Apple, I don't really like it. Coinbase, this is also one that I like, right? So I think this is 3 players. So that's be the last one we give you this week, all right? Last one we give you this week, Coinbase. Now this is a possible downside play. So this right here is actually called get my line here. Right there. This is actually called a descending triangle. Okay. So what is a descending triangle? A descending triangle is a bearish chart pattern that tells you that the stock is more than likely to continue down. Doesn't mean it's going to all the time. No, right? Doesn't mean it's always going to, but you see the down move right here. And how this thing is made, this is the opposite of a ascending triangle, right? So a descending triangle has a flat support and it has a trend line that acts as a resistance. So notice that every time Coinbase has been popping to this trend line, look what's been happening, right? Getting killed at the trend line every time. So what you need is for it to break down below the support. Notice that we have a clear support right around 292. Okay, so if it breaks below and holds below 292, we could see a move down, right? Notice I already did the work for you. The next big support, right, would be around 263, right? So anywhere up in this 272 to 263, about a $10 range, I can see it dropping to. But either way, That's a pretty big drop right there, about $20. So under 292, I will be looking for coin puts. Now that would be a play for if you have a larger account. Do not play coin if you got a smaller account. All right, this is for large accounts only. All right, Coinbase descending triangle under 292. That looks really good. Okay, so that's also one that I'm watching. Right, so we got Tesla for upside. We got Hood for upside, and we got Coinbase for downside. Okay, and we have Lululemon. We know Lululemon's been getting killed, but they are starting to get to that level that I really kind of like. Right, so if you've been watching for the past few weeks or months, whatever, I've been talking about this 162 or this 160 area for Lulu. Right, so it's down here at the COVID lows, just about. So this is gonna be interesting at this point. I'm watching it heavily here. It's crazy how much this thing has fallen. So you're talking about the stock went from being $400 in January and February to being 160. All right. So they've struggled a lot with the tariffs. So we'll see how they go. Google looks good. Uber, yeah, Meta, Bitcoin at 111,000. You got Lyft, and yeah. So yeah, man, that's what I like this week. My favorite stocks to watch is gonna be Robinhood for upside, gonna be Tesla for upside, and also Coinbase for possible downside. All right. So that's what I like this week, man. Once again, guys, let's share this, like this, and comment on this so we can get this thing to 1,000 subscribers. Having 4 free classes. All right. So I appreciate you guys for hopping on. Thank you guys in advance for 1K. I'm gonna stream whenever we get to 1,000, man. Have me a nice little stream party. So appreciate you guys for watching. Hope you guys trade safe. You make some money off of this. Let me know in the comments throughout the week. All right. Y'all be safe, man. See y'all later.